Here is a comparison review on the Toyota Corolla Cross versus the Honda HR-V. In this video, I'll be going over what trims are available with each SUV, which vehicle has better safety features, the exterior looks, the interior quality and cargo room, the infotainment system, the performance, towing, fuel economy, the reliability, and the pricing. If you guys are new here, my name is Jason and I do reviews on vehicles here in Canada, so be sure to like and subscribe for more videos just like this one. Also, thank you to both Brampton East Toyota and OpenRoad Honda here in Brampton for letting me review these two SUVs. If you are interested in either of these, then be sure to reach out to the dealership. Let's start things off with the different trims you can get with these SUVs. So with the Toyota Corolla Cross, you can get either a gas or a hybrid version, and in total, you have 8 models and packages to pick from. And you can either get a front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive variations. And for the Honda HR-V, there's no hybrid model as of right now, but you can pick from 4 different models, and there is one model that is in two-wheel drive. The rest of the trims are in all-wheel drive. So if you're someone who is adamant about wanting a hybrid, then the Corolla Cross is the option for you. And plus, you can get more options to pick from. Now, let's move on to the safety features between the two SUVs. I won't cover what features each and every model has, but instead what each of these SUVs has to offer as standard. And depending on the model that you pick, you might get a few more extra options that are not standard on all of the models. So starting with the Toyota Corolla Cross, all models get the Toyota Safety Sense 3, which gives you things like pre-collision system with pedestrian and bicycle detection, intersection support, and emergency steering assist. There's also the lane departure alert with steering assist and road edge detection, the full speed dynamic radar cruise control with curve speed management, and the lane tracing assist with enhanced line and road recognition. Now with the Honda HR-V, all models get the collision mitigation braking, forward collision warning, lane departure warning, road departure mitigation, adaptive cruise control with low speed follow, traffic sign recognition, lane keeping assist, and the traffic jam assist. And like I was mentioning, as you move up in the models for both of these SUVs, you do get a few more safety features. Now let's go over the exterior on both of these vehicles, and this will all come down to your own personal preference and what you think looks good. By all means, both vehicles are great looking and definitely look sharp. Plus, as you move up in the different models that are available, some definitely look better than others, which of course comes with a price tag. And I think the Corolla Cross definitely stands out with its bold and clean looking features, and the Corolla Cross isn't that old either since it came out in 2022. Now, the HR-V has been around for quite some time now, and it was first introduced way back in 2016, and the HR-V doesn't look all that bad, but some consumers may be turned off by its front end looks. I think it has a distinctive design to it, and both of these vehicles you do get a nice slim look rather than being too bulky. At the end of the day, if the exterior looks make or break your buying decision, then this may be a hard one since both of them look sharp. Now let's cover the interior and see what the difference between the two are. And just like the exterior, this will also vary depending on the model that you pick. Again, both vehicles have a nice interior, but I do have to give it to Honda. There's just something about their interior design versus Toyota which makes it feel more premium. The layout of everything just seems to fit perfectly and not stick out. Plus, considering both SUVs are about the same in price, this makes it kind of a no-brainer for some. Now, don't get me wrong, the Corolla Cross interior isn't trash. You get more of a slimmer style interior, and this makes it look less bulky actually. Also, I think that you do get a better integration of the touchscreen, which I'll touch on shortly. Now, as for the interior in general, I think the HR-V kind of has an edge over the Corolla Cross because of it looking more premium, whereas the Corolla Cross interior isn't horrible, but if an aesthetic interior is what you're looking for, then the HR-V is definitely for you. And if you really don't care what the interior looks like, then the Corolla Cross is the best option. I do think what makes the HR-V interior look better is obviously the sleek venting that you get across the dash, and Honda did a good job at making things that the driver would mostly look at look appealing. Now, in the back is where the Corolla Cross is better than the HR-V, and this may be very small to some people, but with the HR-V, there's no rear venting on the rear console area, whereas the Corolla Cross has that. Also with the Corolla Cross, you can pick from different interior colors depending on the model you get, and with the HR-V, you can only get a black interior. Now, as for the cargo capacity, The HR-V does have a slightly bigger area where you get 691 cubic feet of space. And compare that to the Corolla Cross where you only get 609 cubic feet of space. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but the HR-V does have a slight advantage. Now, the infotainment system, the software on both vehicles are pretty easy to navigate, probably more so on the Corolla Cross. But if we're talking about looks and usability wise, I would have to give this to the HR-V. It just has more things on here compared to the Corolla Cross. And I do like the designing of the Corolla Cross touchscreen because it's more well integrated into the dashboard. And both touchscreens are pretty clear and responsive when going through the different menus. Two things that make the Corolla Cross stand out is that you get a slightly bigger touchscreen as standard, and you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, whereas with the HR-V, it's wired. Now, let's cover the performance of these two SUVs. With the Corolla Cross gas model, you get a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, which gives you 169 horsepower and a 150 pound-foot of torque. Fuel economy wise with this engine is about 7.6 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 7 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. And towing wise, you can tow about 1,500 pounds. Now, if you go with the Corolla Cross Hybrid, it's the same 2-liter engine, but with this, you get a combined 196 horsepower and a 139 pound-foot of torque. Fuel economy wise with this is about 5.2 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 6.2 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway, and it tows the same as the gas engine, which is 1,500 pounds. As for the HR-V, all of the models do come with the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine, and this is going to give you 158 horsepower and a 138 pound-foot of torque. Fuel economy wise, the front-wheel drive gives you about 9.1 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 7.4 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. The rest of the all-wheel models give you about 9.4 liters per 100 kilometers in the city and 7.8 liters per 100 kilometers on the highway. Now, as for the towing with this, and as per Honda, it's actually not recommended. Now, in terms of which SUV is more reliable, I think you can't go wrong with either one of these, and according to Consumer Reports, the Corolla Cross gas model gets an overall score of 69 out of 100, whereas the hybrid version gets 79 out of 100. And for the HR-V, this has an overall score of 74 out of 100. Now finally, for the pricing of these SUVs, you do get more trims with the Corolla Cross, so the base front-wheel drive model starts from about $30,300 Canadian, and the top gas trim starts from about $38,600 Canadian. Now, since this has a hybrid model, these will range from about $37,200 to about $40,000 Canadian. And for the HR-V, you do get only 4 models, so picking does become limited. So for the base model, which is a front-wheel drive, this starts from about $31,000 Canadian, and the top trim is about $40,000 Canadian. Both SUVs have a very similar price point in terms of the base model and the top trims, but with Toyota, they give you extra models and packages to pick from. Well, that does it for the comparison between the Toyota Corolla Cross versus the Honda HR-V. Let me know which one you would go with, or would you just pick something completely different?